And with our partnership in 2025, we now can say we are the only company that guarantees an interview at lifetime. And that's exactly what happened. Got you in contact with a recruiter. Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to the SUF-Fitness podcast. Today, we are lucky to have this 24-year-old hunk who just got hired at Lifetime, Mr. Luke. How we doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
Lovely, my man. First off, congrats. You are going to be
Thank you.
showing up at the Lifetime out of Chicago. We met about, 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, in person. Yeah.
And you did the seminar. You met some pretty important people at that one because Zelig was there, a lot of managers, and something happened where it kind of lit a spark under your ass. You wanted to join the higher ranks for the best gyms. And so you've been a trainer for over a year. How'd you come across Show
hmm
Up?
It was when I was in college. Met this guy at a bar, Blaze. I think he was on a podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And he was just kind of telling me uh, that, like, yeah, we were both. He was in kinesiology. I was a kines minor, and he was saying like, "Oh, don't get your NASM. Try to get your money back. Go through Show Up Fitness." So at that point, that's when I started to follow you. But I'd already bought NASM, so I kind of went through that. Once I was finished with that, I actually, joined the Show Up Fitness, online platform to learn there. And yeah, without that, I definitely would not have been doing as good as I have been. I remember going through NASM. I was like, oh, it's pretty decent information. And then I was like, oh, I'm just waiting to get to the programming part. And when I got there, I was like, oh, like this, I don't feel like this is really preparing me at all. Versus, right, even all the free stuff you have on your YouTube or obviously with your podcasts and Instagram just helps like so much more because on a day-to-day basis, that's what we're doing as trainers.
And with our partnership in 2025, we now can say we are the only company that guarantees an interview at Lifetime. And that's exactly what happened. Got you in contact with a recruiter. They did your basic little, Q&A, wanted to see if you were fired up about working there, set you up with the lead manager. And so take us through that process from, when you had that conversation with the recruiter who we set you up with, then she passed you along into the manager there. And then now you have a startup date in 2025. So let's go through that process.
Yeah, so once you had introduced me to the recruiter, just kind of went through like it was a phone call, just, my reason as to what I'm doing currently and why I want to work to Lifetime. A lot of it was just her kind of explaining Lifetime's their goals and what they do and the outlook for the future for both the company and like the training department there. Um, After that, I think it was within, I don't know, 5 days, I was able to get into the first interview part of things there. And then they invited me back for the practical. That was about a week later. And then I did end up meeting with the lead general there. Had to push it back just because I got sick. So total of maybe 3-ish weeks. And then last week they kind of confirmed that they're going to be hiring me there.
There's 177 lifetimes as of 2024 December. The amount of growth that they're going to be going through in the next 5-10 years is insane. They're a public company, so you can go look at their ticker, LTF. You can see what they're worth. You can look at all of the financials, which they review on their quarterlies. And it's really neat to see that this, in my opinion, is the best gym as well as personal training place to go to. If you are a new trainer, if you are an experienced trainer, it's where you need to be because, and I don't get paid for this. They don't give me anything. I'm actually pissed off. I wish that they would give me a free membership. Don't even have that. I have to go and pay for it my own. But we have helped more trainers get hired there. And the process goes, you reached out to me, you said you want to get hired there. I reached out to the recruiter, and then I reached out to a manager who I knew. And the conversation was pretty much on the back end. Do you vouch for this person? I said, absolutely. Luke's a stud. He went to our seminar. He's going to be a great candidate. You still need to go through and show him that you are a qualified individual. But that's what happens when you are leveling yourself up. And that's exactly what you did. And so I'm proud of you, man. Now, can you take us through? So interview 1, phone call, aced it. Interview 2, phone call. And each gym, each area is going to be a little different. But after you get the green light, you then go in person, and then there's that practical part. Can you take us through what that looked like and how you're able to ace that sucker?
Yeah, after the initial call with the recruiter, set me up with the time to go in and or well, it was for a phone call, like a phone interview first with the hiring personal training manager. It was him and the assistant behind him, just kind of talking through some things, asking my why, what I'd be bringing there. Um, there's a few other things in terms of, I think a big takeaway I got was that they want they don't want it to be salesy. They want to be more like of a prescriptive like diagnosis of like how to help the client out. Um, that way, right? You don't come across as salesy. It's more about like this is what you need to be able to reach your goals. And I think that's something that I definitely will need to look more into and work on. But yeah, that was the first phone interview. It took maybe about 30 to 40 minutes. After that, they invited me to come in for the practical about a couple days later. Um, it only took about 20, 30 minutes. Just going through a little bit of an assessment process. They gave me like an example client. For this one, it was like a 65-year-old male, something wrong with his shoulder, rotator cuff, something like that. And I just took them through like the first little circuit and a warm up before that to kind of show them, what I know that I am comfortable and competent in my skills. I was just going to say, like, after that, about, I don't know, 5 days later, they reached back out for me to come in and meet the lead general there. Just had a little talk with him, and then a couple days later, they got back to me and said they wanted to hire me.
And what they're doing is they're just screening to see if you're competent. And I guarantee
Yeah.
if you had them do an overhead squat assessment or put them on a Bosu ball or do anything that is, a 10-minute warm up, they're going to be like, all right, so this is just another textbook trainer. We're not going to, and they're not going to tell you to your face, like, oh, you suck. They're just be like, oh, no, we'll get back to you. And then when they get back to you, it's a letter saying, oh, you didn't fit this environment. What they want to see is that you are able to recognize, oh, the shoulder has rotator cuff. Oh, it's pretty cool. And then you screen, put your hands above your head. Can you do internal, external rotation? Can you eliminate the
Hmm.
red flags? Have a conversation, show your people skills with that manager. It's a role-playing scenario, but I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to say, which rotator cuff muscle was it? There's four of them, right? And you showcase you're knowledgeable, but your personality is leading the way. And then you take them through a
Yeah.
little warm up. You said they have some tight hips. So you do some, external, internal rotations, hip 90-90, get involved as a trainer, help them up. You are showing that you deserve the right to get into this environment with these professionals because that's who you're going to be surrounded with. You want to be charging 200 plus per hour because they don't put a ceiling on you, and you will be able to do that. You better believe there's
Hmm.
people at that gym that are multi-millionaires, maybe even billionaires. So they have the extra stream of revenue and supplemental income to pay a trainer a couple grand per month. Absolutely. And so then you have fun with the first CCA, maybe you do a CAA, a CCC, whatever it is that you implement that you feel is right based on that manager or trainer's energy. And then they're going to stop it after 20 minutes. They're going to say, yep, you're
Hmm.
good. They know what good and what bad is. If you're a basketball coach, you give someone a ball and you say, shoot it. And if they say, oh, I got to make sure that I hit a 90-degree angle and I got to stretch before, I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. They know right then and there if you're going to make it. And you better believe these managers are sick and tired of seeing fear-based trainers coming in and diagnosing people with fucking upper cross syndrome. Oh, you have a lower cross syndrome and we got to fix you. They want to see that you can screen just like you did. And then you took them through a great workout. You got the green light, and now you get to really do some amazing things in 2025. I'm really excited to get you back on here in a couple months because you're going to be moving
Yeah.
up the ladder quickly.